Now, last week, the country experienced one of its worst national power outages in recent history. What had been expected to be a relaxing weekend for the hardworking Kenyans turned into a waiting game in the dark. The power interruption ended up lasting nearly 22 hours. The Jomo Kenyatta International Airport was the epicenter of the unlit national embarrassment. Stranded passengers at one of the terminals made for pitiful silhouettes pasted against faint flashlights of their mobile phones. Transport Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen tweeted a timely apology, but darkness persisted. Then Murkomen struck the next morning with a power surge of his own. Two senior officials fell on the wires by mutual consent. Beyond JKIA, there were massive losses for individual Kenyans. Food stocks in fridges and freezers went stale. But as Kenyans were waiting for answers, this is part of what they got.
We want to assure you that we have security of supply, we have a stable system, and so therefore this is just a storm and a passing cloud, and we assure you we are on top of things.
A passing cloud, a passing storm. Now, in January 2022, 4 electricity towers fell in Imara Daima area of Nairobi, causing a national power trip. 3 days later, the then Cabinet Secretary Monica Juma visited the scene of the collapsed towers, walking through vegetable gardens. The entire government was infuriated and blamed officials at the Kenya Power for failing to repair the vandalized towers. 9 officials of the Kenya Power were arraigned, accused of negligence and terrorist acts. While all the 9 were eventually freed at different times for lack of evidence. This time round, investigations seem to target one independent power producer, the Electrocana Wind Power, who have absolved themselves from blame.
We know they are commercial interests. They are losing money. And even as we hold them back, we've invited them to come to Suswa to basically look at the audit log with us, and not for a blame game, but confirm where the challenge is coming from and correct that challenge.
Well, there's so much that is officially unknown. Blame game appears inevitable, as has been in the past. But there is a dark puzzle that remains unresolved. Kenya's electricity is among the most expensive in Africa. It would help to get an assurance of supply. And while the conversation about compensation of consumers when power is not reliable continues, authorities must be honest with Kenyans on whether it is possible to lower the cost of electricity or not. A review of the power mix plans by the Kenya Power shows that majority of the independent power producers have signed power purchase agreements to assure them of payments whether the power they produce is used or not. They call it take-or-pay arrangement. Authorities must tell Kenyans the truth, that because of the expansion of the electricity distribution under the last-mile connectivity, Kenyan-owned power plants are not sufficient to supply the entire country. The sad news might be that the high cost of electricity will remain for some time, but it is better to be honest with Kenyans than make unachievable promises and in the same year approve an electricity tariff review that means consumers spend more on the essential service. Kenyans are better served with fewer blame games and even fewer poker games between investors and the government. Reliable power will of necessity be preceded by reliable intentions and reliable plans. And that is my sense tonight.